Greetings, YouTube. Today I'm going to talk about a game setting, Northern Crown's New World Adventures, and the supplement to it, Northern Crown's The Gazetteer. This setting takes place essentially in an alternate history of the 17th century New World, the Americas. In it, magic exists. Britain has been taken back by the elves. The British Crown, the human ones, have taken refuge in the New World. The Salem colony is controlled by witches. The Puritans are at war with them. There are numerous Native American tribes. There are freed and enslaved blacks here in the United States, or the New World. There are native-born colonists and European immigrants. It's a rich and vibrant setting. It's a little earlier than what we normally think of as the era of revolution, but it's close enough that I think anyone who's even vaguely familiar with the early time period in Americas would be familiar with it. Now, I don't know enough history to tell you if every single thing in this that was taken from our actual history, all the European immigrants, the Native American nations, and things like that, is 100% accurate. But I do know enough history to tell you that it's close enough for a gaming product, that it feels real. They give numerous Native American cultures in this a full write-up. They give a number of European countries a full write-up. So you want to play, an Irish immigrant, they've got information here that's gonna give you the kind of background you're going to get from Ireland or Scotland or something like that, the Celtic peoples. You want to play a British expatriate who's retreated to the New World rather than live under the yoke of the new elven masters because the elves just showed up a few years ago. You can do that. They've got stats on the elves themselves. There are a few here in the North American continent looking around and exploring. You can play a freed slave. And of course, you can play a witch. And the witches in this are based on a historical definition of witch, seen through the lens of the Puritans. So these are witches that actually draw their power for real from demonic figures. Not something I'm particularly happy about, but it's in the setting, but I'm sure that if you wanted to, you could, alter it to your liking. Now, one of the things that impressed me with this is, again, the research is wonderful. The writing style is entertaining. This game lets you play folk heroes. You can play people like Mick Finn. You can play people like John Henry, Paul Bunyan. You can play American legends in this game. There are prestige classes that let you become legends. They've got firearms, magic, conventional hand-to-hand weapons, some armor, not as much as a traditional D&D game, of course, because it's set in a later time period. They also have the ability for people to pick up knacks, little magical abilities, like they can snap their fingers and make a flame or something. Just for flavor, just to show the kind of folksy magic and myth that surrounded the early American era. And this game really reflects that. Also, the art in this is across the board solid. The covers on both the books are color. Everything else is black and white. And the maps are good. All of the illustrations are good. I really enjoyed the black and white sketch style that was used in this book. Even the illustrations of the items, the armor and weapons and things, were top-notch. And as a person that sketches weapons, as I've said before, here's a weapon. I take illustrations of weapons very seriously. If they're bad, that is a mark against a game for me, because that means somebody didn't try. The people that did this game, they tried. Now, the downside, to my mind, is that both of these books, originally, they're from Atlas Games, by the way, were $30 a piece. They're not very big. That's not a very thick book. It's almost about the same size as some of the splat books put out by Wizards of the Coast, like the Complete Adventurer, the Complete Warrior, things like that. I think they're overpriced for what they're asking. Yes, they're hardcover, but I think they could have made them at $20 a pop, made them softbound, or combined them together into one volume and made it $30. Now, I bought these at a fire sale when they were getting rid of all the 3.5 books in the world because Wizards of the Coast said you can't keep them in stock anymore. I bought each of these for $10 a piece. So, to my mind, that was a great deal. For $20, I got a really interesting, really full-fledged setting. Now, there's a module for this, which I didn't pick up. Now I kind of regret that. So I'm going to see, I may actually see if I can poke around online and find the module for this and see how they handle a module. Because it's a module going to be set up for a setting that I am both familiar with and not familiar with. I'm familiar with the actual history, not necessarily familiar with how these people think that history should be redone in light of an entirely new political landscape and Magic. But if you're looking for something unusual, something that's definitely not going to be anything that your players have probably tried before, I would definitely recommend Northern Crown.